So what has your experience been like working on Omen V? Maybe one of the best games ever.
We worked on the royal houses, and recreating those pixels into actual avatars that looked like people was kind of crazy. I mean, hard to imagine in many ways. Sometimes I even wonder if the work was even worth it.
Omen V, when it first came out, was a huge mess, filled with more bugs than you'd see in a bug den. Was wild, but me and my team worked night and day to really make it a palatable experience.
So with Ignis being more of like a forest nation, I really wanted brass to be the main sound with all of the tracks for that. I felt like it not only encompassed the area you were in, but also what would realistically be played in that environment, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.
And then as for Krygos, it's kind of a similar thing. Krygos was percussions. Krygos is more of like an Iceland. You can't play brass or strings in an Iceland, so I felt that that was not only realistic like with Ignis, but it was also just encompassed the environment. And then finally we've got Atlas. Atlas was going to be strings. It's more mountainous, drier area. It felt right, you know. I really wanted to encompass what the three nations had, not only environmentally, but also their personalities and, you know, what they're like. And so those were kind of the base structures for most of the songs.
Now you were brought on as technical director for Omen V. How was that experience?
The first full dive game, it shattered records.
Omen V, my boy. Yes. Do you know how powerful this game is? It's as powerful as these holy ass muscles. And you know what else is powerful? A child that was taken by bandits, that wasn't molested, but was made into a man. He was molded and grown into a mid-boss that got revenge on those kids that bullied him when he was little. It's about muscles, and that's what Omen V is about.
There's so much different storylines going in there. There's 3 different nations. I had to cover, you know, Ignis, Atlas, and Krygos, and make sure we follow one of those key stories, you know, whether it's Flint or Megami or Herb. Etherbolt technically. But overall, how does everyone live in this world? And, you know, the players, I mean, you know, because you are the champions of this world, how will you affect the story from here on out? And how does that affect these royal houses when going forward?
Omen V recently came out and has broken sales records all over the world. What was your experience working on that game?
Oh, it's just so expansive. There's a lot of iconic sounds we brought from previous games, but also we're just adding so many new things for the game. You know, from the pencil writing in a journal to an axe hitting a fireball, you know, anything you can think of that's in the game, we are creating. So it's been an incredibly rewarding experience.
It's a touchy subject. Probably should have some Kleenex around just in case this gets a little emotional. But 5, it's the best game. You know, I'm a little bothered that they, you know, fired Tenku, who, in my opinion, was the greatest, you know, individual, and they've replaced him with some freaking no name. And why did they do that? I have no clue. Maybe it had something to do with the governmental contracts, but that's a little bit above my pay grade.
The Wave Rider is new, like new. It's not a new console, new architecture, new language to program in, new engine. It is absolutely new from the ground up. We had to start day one with trying to figure out where to even start. Like, obviously we had all the established stuff from the previous Omen games to pull from, but as far as even just the physics of the game, it was start over. So that was a lot to start with. And even like today, it's still hard to believe that we've reached this point. The Wave Rider seemed decades, maybe even centuries in the future to have a full dive system game. And here we are. I don't know how we did it. I'm just very proud of my team. All the people that worked on it got together. And just like everyone else, I'm just as excited to play Soul as everyone else is.
Omen IV is not the most popular Omen game, and I understand that there was some tumult behind the scenes as far as GodTech taking over Fractal and producing Omen IV, which many in the community don't really consider a true blue Omen game. But what was your experience on working on Omen IV?
It was pretty unfortunate time for me. Lost a lot of friends. It was pretty lonely. They had me working on a lot of different assets, and creatively it wasn't so bad, but it just, you get in a mindset where you're just kind of stuck feeling, and it didn't feel like the payoff was as good as it could have been. But it all worked out, I think, in the end.
I mean, Omen 4 kind of felt more of a trial period for me. That was more just my chance to get familiar with the company, the game, and my own personal skills as well. Omen 5 is kind of where things really started to unfold and, show their character. At the end of the day, though, I'm beyond grateful, and they really turned me into a star of the GodTech company, so I think it was meant to be. Not the best start, but here we are.
I mean, when it came down to it, I was laid off. The company had a different vision for how the story was supposed to be put. Not my story, not Tenku's story, but their story. And so therefore, I never got the opportunity to develop what could have been the end game of our franchise, Omen 1, 2, and 3. And in general, their story was taking place not on Troya, but on a completely new continent with new characters and just basically a whole new feel. And I wasn't for that, But it's good for them for whatever they did, And they did bring me back, for Omen 5.
I was part of the layoffs, so I don't really have anything to say about that.
What were some of your highlights
Well,
working
some
on
of the best side quests came from that game. And if you learn how to play ball, you can get far in life. Just like my life. It's about working out, working your muscles. Omen 4 was a game that got people together. It got men, women together to love each other. I've got a lot of love in that game. It helped me in my life. I go to the gym and work out, and while I was working out, I thought about pumping that Omen 4, just pumping it.
Omen 4 is both a technological and a mechanical marvel. Unfortunately, the story was, let's say, lackluster. Fans were not happy that this new installment of the game had nothing to do with the previous games for how entwined they were.
What do you think some of the downfalls from Omen 4 were in the development cycle? Because I understand a lot of things happened behind the scenes to change Omen 4 up from its predecessors.
I think I did speak on that.
Yep. We're just going to double up.
Yes. I'll say yes. This is the worst game ever. Okay, GodTech, they fired Tenku, who's the greatest, and they replaced him with some no name. For what? I don't know. Maybe it had to do with the neurological links, or maybe it had something to do with what's being hidden downstairs in the basement. Either way, Omen 5 is doing a really good job. It's eliminating a lot of my theories, especially the man alien.
Yeah, revolutionary, but disappointing.
Yep. Why do you think it was so disappointing? A lot of people will say it was because Gregory Tenku wasn't at the helm of the game.
Yeah, it was good and bad.
It is a little bit of a touchy subject, but when Tenku left, I left with him. I didn't seem personal at all from GodTech. They just wanted different things at the time than what we wanted to do, and it probably would have been a different game. Not to create any sort of political issues in regards to this, but obviously their vision of Omen IV partially paved the way for what we were able to do with Omen V. So on a big picture thing, I would say GodTech might have been correct in the way they handled it. Crack a few eggs to make an omelet sort of deal. And so, I can't fault them for that in the big picture. I guess the ends justify the means this one time.
So now in Omen V, GodTech has brought Gregory Tenku back to run Fractal. How is it like working with him?
Love that man.
Yeah. He's quite the revolutionary
He's
himself.
competent and determined.
It was great. He was always in close contact with my team, and it was really good to just know that our concerns and questions and thoughts were always being heard.
Sometimes I get emotional. I mean, this man was born from Jonas himself. And before you go saying that Jonas is not real, he's just as real as Jesus, Zeus, Atlantis, Odin, and Michael Godfrey being alive with Tupac. Yay! He's very real. Okay? He's a legend.
He's a great visionary, but I don't really know the man. I only get involved when things go really wrong.
How's it like working with Gregory Tenku?
Mon oncle?
Working with Tenku has been very good. We've been able to work on House Fix Answer and implement a lot of new details, but still keeping some of the traditional old looks. So you still have the pale skin, the green hair with the blue highlights, the blue and green eyes, all those traditional things, but we get to try out a whole bunch of new ideas too. So it's been very rewarding.
There's only one Mr. T, and that Mr. T is... I'm not ignoring you, I'm thinking. I just sum it up in 3 words. ... That's what the T for. It's not for together, it's for taking control. And that's what Mr. T is about.
I don't think I can put it into words. I mean, as a creative artist, there's a lot of companies, places, people that try to put you in a box and limit your creative skills, talents, desires. Tenku did a really great job at giving me complete and total freedom. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm all for taking other talents and incorporating them into my work. But to have full creative control at the end of the day is something that it's an unmeasurable, thing for me. So Tenku always provided that, and I couldn't be happier.
I mean, story makes it sound like it's filled with drama, but it's been great the whole time. And yes, I've known him for 20 years. When I played Omen 1, I was so blown away that I sought him out. And it was partially because I saw that interview. He always said, we can bring the adventure to your doorstep, but the players are the soul of our game. So they have to take the first step. And like many people, I felt inspired. And so I took that first step. Well, really many steps to track the guy down, borderline stalking him. And now I get to call him one of my best friends, business partners, co-collaborator. It's been such a dream. And to this day, I could try to answer questions on how he works, but it's hard. You have to be there. You have to be the fly in the wall to get the magic.
I mean, I've never had anyone as devoted and caring as this man. Gregory Tenku it's just not a legend, but to me, he's like a father. He allowed me to explore the story in a whole new way. He gave me the team that I needed to make sure I could see this vision with these 3 nations. And I'm just privileged to be part of this whole project.